This video is about performing operations on algebraic fractions or rational numbers. The first learning objective is to multiply algebraic fractions. First example, a over b times b over 2. Let's multiply it across, numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. In here, when we multiply, we can now see that we can cancel out because b divided by b is 1. So the simplest answer will be, or the simplest product is going to be a over 2. Another example, we have 3a over 2 times b over 3. You're going to multiply across. So from multiplying 3a times b is 3ab. 2 times 3 is 6. Let's take a look if we can still simplify, and we can divide both the numerator by 3 to make it smaller, and then if you divide 3 in your numerator, you also have to divide 3 in the denominator. So the simplest form is AB over 2. Okay, now that you have learned this, you can go to your practice sheet and answer and simplify some expressions there. You can stop this video. Okay, moving on. The second learning objective is to divide algebraic fractions. Let's have one example. The first one is a over b divided by 3. Okay, now you are going to change this because this is a fraction. So you're going to copy or rewrite the first term, a over b. This time you're changing the division symbol to multiplication symbol, and instead of writing 3, you write the reciprocal of 3, and the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. Once you have done that, you can now multiply the fractions and just multiply across numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator, so that you will have a times 1 is a and b times 3 is 3b. Okay, remember to write your expressions correctly. Write the numbers first and then the variables. Okay, let's have another example. 4 over b divided by 2 over x. So what we want is to change this division symbol to multiplication and then write the reciprocal of 2 over x. Okay, so 4 over x times, now the division symbol is gone, it is now multiplication and then reciprocal of 2 over x, which is x over 2. Now let's multiply across, and after multiplying across, you can also see that you can cancel x and x because x divided by x is 1, and then you can also divide the numerator and denominator by a common number, which is 2, or a common factor. Okay, so you divide both numbers by 2, so then 4 divided by 2 is 2 and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So your final answer is 2. Again, you can stop this video and you can answer some questions and see if you understand what I have just explained to you. Okay, when you are done doing that, you can continue watching this video. Okay, to continue, and the last learning objective for algebraic fraction is to learn how to add and subtract algebraic fractions. Okay, let's add a over 6 plus 2a over 3. Okay, the idea is to make the denominator the same, because if the denominators are different, you cannot add them or subtract them. So let's think of a number that is our least common denominator. So for 3 and 6, the least common denominator is 6. So we need, this fraction is already fine and okay because it has 6 as its denominator. But for this fraction, we need to change its denominator to 6. And we can do that by multiplying it by a certain number. So 3 multiply what will give you 6? You need to multiply it by 2. if you multiply the denominator by 2, you have also to multiply the numerator by 2. Okay, once we do that, okay, a over 6 is still a over 6 plus your 2a now after multiplying by 2 becomes 4a, and then your 3 after multiplying by 2 becomes 6. Now we can add the fraction because the denominators are the same. So we just copy the denominator and we add a plus 4a. A without the coefficient that you can't see, there's actually a 1 here, so it's like 1a plus 4a. So your final answer is 5a over 6. Just take a look if you can still simplify this. You can't anymore. This is the simplest form, so we leave it as that. This is your final answer, 5a over 6. Now, let's have another example, which is longer one. We're going to add x plus 2 over 4 plus 2x minus 1 over 7. There are more steps here, but the first goal is to make the denominators the same. So let's think of the least common denominator for 4 and 7. Okay, so for 4 and 7, the least common denominator is 28. So we can use 28. What do we do to be able to make 4 into 28? 4 times what number is going to give us 28? It's going to be 7, so we need to multiply both the numerator and denominator by 7. And we also would like to make this 28, and so we need to multiply this by 4. If we are multiplying the denominator by 4, we need to multiply the numerator by 4 as well. So let's multiply both the denominator and numerator by 4. Now, if we do that, we will end up with this. 7 times 4 is 28. We are multiplying 7 to all the terms here, and I'm using brackets, plus, again, 7 times 4 is 28, and I'm multiplying 4 to all the terms here, which are 2x minus 1. Okay, on the next step, I'm going to use distributive property. So I'm going to multiply 7 to each term inside the bracket. And let's see what happens. So 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 2 is 14. So you have 7x plus 14 over 28. Plus, now we're going to multiply 4 to each term inside the bracket. So 4 times 2x is 8x. Now be careful here. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So we have a negative 4 here. And we still have 28 over here. Now that the denominators are the same, we can now add. Okay, be careful. You only add like terms. In these expressions, 7x and 8x are like terms, so you can combine them. And the constants 4 and negative 4 are like terms, so you can add them. Okay, next step. 7x plus 8x is 15x. 14 plus negative 4 is positive 10, so you have plus 10 over 28. Now, let's take a look if we can still simplify this. We can't anymore. There's no number, single number that we can use to divide and make it smaller. So this is your final answer. Okay, I hope it's clear. You can now go back to your practice sheets and start adding and subtracting algebraic fractions.